Is it too late to start a YouTube channel? This is probably one of the biggest questions I get asked when a prospect online is debating whether or not to start a channel. And they're not alone in this. Every year, every month, and even every day, there is someone out there that is on the fence of starting YouTube. Some of the biggest blockers that I know of are that there's so many creators out there already. The video ideas I want to do has already been done. I'm not an expert in my own field. And the most common one, it's all just about luck. Well, the reason you might have clicked on this video is because you're looking for a very specific reason to start your YouTube channel. So that's exactly what I'll be talking about in this video. I'm going to be really straightforward here. You just have to start. And this advice I'm giving doesn't only apply to YouTube. It could also mean everything in life, whether that be starting your own business, asking the person you like out for a date, going to the gym. You just have to start somewhere. And unfortunately, that is the reality. There isn't a more specific reason I can give to convince you to start your own channel or do anything productive in your life. Hopefully that's the right way to put it. So when I was researching for this video, because I needed inspiration, I came across a really cool analogy that explains pretty much the irony of not starting your own channel. So a comment left on this video that is being shown on the screen at the moment was posted 4 years ago, and it said that people really say that everything has already been done, but people are still writing books 500 years after they invented the printing press. And I thought this was pretty funny because thinking about it, everyone is totally fine with the idea of writing books and the fact that there are millions or even billions of authors who have passed. Sure, there may have been some outstanding books that captures the majority's attention, like Harry Potter, The Hunger Games. That's all the books I know because I don't read books. But those outstanding books eventually fall out of popularity over time. And there will always be new books being written and published that can pique a reader's interest again. There are even books published that are catering towards very specific niches and problems, like cookbooks, business growth books, plant growing books, self-care books, manga, of course, for entertainment. So what I'm really trying to say is that the process of creating YouTube videos and starting your own YouTube channel is the same as writing books in a very saturated category. So if you think that, there's already so many creators out there and that there's not enough room for you, just remember that there are so many authors out there that are competing against each other within a space that has been heavily saturated over centuries. Even though there's already probably hundreds of creators, or maybe a few dozen, that are creating videos within your own niche, you should not have the mindset that it's too late to start a YouTube channel. Because if authors don't make those kind of excuses, you shouldn't either. They have it worse than us anyways. Now, with that being said, another common objection that I hear often when it comes to being on the fence of starting your own YouTube channel is that I feel like I don't have enough experience under me to justify me starting a YouTube channel, or that people just don't feel they're worthy enough to record videos and upload them. But I'm just gonna ask you this really simple question. What does it mean to have enough experience? Seriously, really do ask yourself that question, because a lot of people really contemplate this and prevent themselves from starting a YouTube channel because they feel like they don't have enough experience. Are you talking about 1 year of experience, 10 years, maybe a couple of days, a couple of months? You see, there's no real magic number that suddenly makes you qualify to start making YouTube videos. That's pretty much an arbitrary number that we make inside our own head. When Jimmy started his Mr. Beast YouTube channel, he had no idea on how to make a click-worthy video and make challenge types of videos. It pretty much took him close to a whole year to hit his first 100 subscribers. So what actually matters is whether you can take that first step to help someone solve a problem that you've already overcome. Because in reality, the truth is any level of experience can be valuable to someone. For example, if you're someone that's in a university program and people might look up to you because you're only a few steps ahead of them, that's a good enough reason to watch their videos. That's exactly what I did with my YouTube channel back then. For example, if you're someone that started out learning carpentry and you're documenting that experience on YouTube, that learning experience might be quite valuable to someone who's watching that video because they want to know what those steps ahead might actually look like. Meanwhile, someone might lean towards an accountant with 3+ or 5+ years of experience on YouTube to learn a little bit more about tax codes or how to really optimize their tax returns. So what I'm trying to explain here with these really short examples is that there's always an audience that would be very interested in whatever stage you're currently at. Now, to put everything I just talked about earlier into perspective, I'll be talking about two different creators who took very interesting approaches with their YouTube channels and pretty much overcame the fear of, should they start a YouTube channel at the moment, and overcoming that fear basically. By the way, both of these creators are close friends of mine. We play League of Legends all night, every time. So all the information that is being said in this section is directly from them. So this is Jackie, and he creates YouTube videos about his 3D printing journey. And more specifically, he creates videos pretty much documenting and sharing his learning experience with 3D printing. For some context, Jackie just started 3D printing this year and probably only has a few months of experience. Now, to a lot of viewers, you might be wondering why he started this YouTube channel if he only has a few months under his belt. Some people might be asking, shouldn't you have at least 3 or 5 years before you start creating a channel about 3D printing and teaching it? Well, if Jackie took the path of actually teaching 3D printing and what's the best ways to learn 3D printing, then yeah, I guess a few years of experience is required for that step. But what Jackie did with his channel that was a little bit different is that he wanted to share and document his learning process with his viewers. And that's pretty much the value proposition Jackie's channel is able to provide. Jackie's pretty much trying to give a lot more insight on what it's like to start off as a 3D printing beginner and what are the steps that you need to take to learn that while documenting his entire process with it. And his viewers find a lot of value in this because they get to see what those learning steps are like in the beginning and how they could similarly navigate a very similar path. As you can see, a lot of the content that Jackie's uploading, it's mostly just side projects that he's trying to do, but there is a learning outcome for each of those videos. And that's exactly what he's trying to share with his viewers. Now, you might be saying, I'm just saying this out of my ass, but I know this is true because if you look at any of the comments that is being left on Jackie's videos, you can find a lot of his viewers commenting how they are either in a very similar position or they are just a few steps ahead of him and giving some advice on how he can improve his own 3D printing skills. For example, you can see videos or I guess comments talking a little bit more about, you are an incredibly smart individual. Not a lot of people have the ability to ask their own viewers for advice or some improvements on how they can be a better 3D printer. And if you continue scrolling down, you can find other people talking about, I just bought my A1 Mini earlier this month. I love it so much and I can't wait to start 3D printing. And a lot of these comments, yet again, are pretty much beginners finding a lot of interest in the fact that Jackie is documenting his learning experience. So to basically summarize what I'm saying here is that Jackie wasn't afraid of other channels or competitors with more years of experience with 3D printing. Sure, of course, there are probably hundreds of channels out there at the moment with probably million subscribers, 100,000 subscribers who are 3D printers and are doing really well in their fields. But this didn't stop Jackie from making his YouTube channel. What Jackie wanted to do is he decided to start his channel and document what he was learning so he could help other beginners nail that process down a lot easier in the beginning, basically navigating the process of 3D printing a lot easier for them. And if Jackie never started his YouTube channel or had the doubts that he doesn't have enough experience to make a YouTube channel, he would have not found this level of success with his videos and his content. And I can tell you this is one of his biggest things that he wanted to achieve for 2025 is to really start a YouTube channel and make content, because he also runs a very similar content creation business. So this is one great way of practicing to how to learn to make content and doing something that he actually really likes. Now, another great example I want to quickly bring up is my other friend's channel here about running an art business. So for some more context, my friend here is Cindy and she runs her own art business as her main income source at the moment, but her YouTube channel is pretty much a side project. And I believe she's been running her business for maybe like the past 1 or 2 years. I don't remember more specifically. I'm not a really great friend, so sorry if I don't remember the amount of years, but that should give you some good context on how much experience she's had with her art business. But knowing this, Cindy started her channel because she was getting a lot of questions on how similar creators or similar business owners or artists can start their own business as well. And what's the proper way to get started on this? So because of that, Cindy decided to make videos on her channel about running her art business. And now you can see that there are a lot of videos on her channel that have performed exceptionally very well. In some cases have gone viral. Now, with this in mind, the value proposition Cindy's channel is providing is how can a beginner or a small young artist run a successful art business? And you can know this is the correct value proposition that a lot of viewers are getting from Cindy's channel, because in a lot of Cindy's videos, there are hundreds, maybe probably even thousands of comments being left by other beginners starting their own art business. For example, you can see this person that left a comment saying that she was a teacher before, but she helped her mom sell a lot of handmade jewelry in art markets. And you can see comments like this, where this person started her art business here in Europe and is trying to learn a little bit more just by watching YouTube videos, and a lot of other examples like here, another person in New York City who is also trying to run a small art business. So just goes to show that yes, her value proposition is hitting the right target audience of different young artists trying to run their own business. So when Cindy created her channel, she wasn't afraid or contemplated if she had enough years of experience to make videos of her business or about her work. Similar to Jackie's case, Cindy just wanted to document and share how a beginner like her can create a successful art business just by following very simple steps. And she's making videos to share this exact process, share her learning journey, and pretty much document her experience with running her own show. And by creating content that is a lot more focused on revenue growth and scaling, which is typically content topics that a lot of these young artists are more concerned with, especially running an art business, these like-minded individuals would be heavily drawn to her videos because they want to achieve that same result Cindy was also able to find with her own business. So at the end of the day, if Cindy never started her YouTube channel and created videos that is targeting these other art business owners, she would have never found a lot of success with her YouTube channel. And this actually leads into her business side of things, because whenever she sets up a booth at a convention, for example, something like, Anime New York City right here, just as an example, she's gotten a lot of people who walked up to her, probably like around 10 to 20 people, saying that they actually came from her YouTube video and wanted to visit her booth and show their appreciation for teaching them on how to start their own art business. So in a way, her YouTube channel actually correlated really well with her art business, because those viewers ended up buying her products. So this is one way to demonstrate that, if you didn't start your YouTube channel at the moment and maybe had some FOMO or some fear that you don't have enough experience with making YouTube videos, then you're going to be missing out on a lot of possibilities and a lot of results that could have been achievable. Now, after sharing those two examples that I personally know about, and I'm pretty happy to share it with you guys who's watching this video, I've come to the conclusion that there is always an audience that'll be interested in your content, and that's what I said earlier in the beginning of this video. And if you're not starting your YouTube channel right now, you'll never realize the potential your videos could have. You just need to know how to make videos that cater towards your ideal viewers' problems. In other words, if you're really contemplating whether to start your YouTube channel, think about what kind of value you could bring to the table. If you have some experience in certain areas, whether that be 3D printing, university applications, cabin home building, or even job hunting, because I think that's a pretty big topic at the moment with the current state of the world, there will always be an audience that will be interested in watching your content. You just need to have a very clear definition of what is your value proposition for your YouTube channel. And if you can do this pretty successfully, I can guarantee you that you'll be a lot more excited to start your YouTube channel and not have any objections of whether or not it's too late to start. But with that being said, you should definitely check out this video that is popping up on your screen at the moment, where I interviewed a client of mine who experienced the same issues of growing a YouTube channel in a very competitive niche. For some context, my client's name is Sam, and he is a local SEO specialist helping a lot of small business owners rank higher on the Google search results. In that video, he breaks down his entire YouTube journey and how a small creator like him was able to find a lot of success success. And what I mean by this, he was able to find a lot of small business owners to work with just by uploading YouTube videos. So if you're interested in having more reason to start your channel, definitely watch that video because it can give you a lot of good, insightful information. But other than that, you should 100% start your channel and go kill it on YouTube.